Hey everybody, what is up? My name is Martin and welcome to AAA Digest. So I make YouTube videos and put them on the internet for people to judge, I guess. And to everyone that's new to the channel, hi. And disclaimer, I don't make daily content, just some videos when I can and have free time, but I promise that they'll be somewhat decent. So I'm here to continue this RDR2 hype train with yet another character details video, which basically breaks down a character's past, skills, their key relationships, and their possible role in Red Dead Redemption 2. I made videos on Arthur Morgan, Dutch van der Linde, Bill Williamson, John Marston, and Abigail Roberts. They will all be in the description, but now it's Javier Escuella's turn. And yet another disclaimer, we don't have a huge amount of footage on Javier as of yet. So this video will be screenshot heavy, wish there was more out there, but shit happens. Number 1, he was raised by a drunken father. So Javier Escuella was born in the northern part of Mexico within Nuevo Paraíso, or New Paradise. Quote, where it's as good a place as any to call home, warm sun, cheap liquor, and beautiful women. Yet it wasn't all good times for Javier. He was raised by an abusive drunken father that worked on his uncle's land, which led to Javier finding an escape and becoming a Mexican revolutionary, in which he developed his skills as an expert marksman, gained his knack for survival, and started to revolve his life around fighting for freedom. Although Escuella soon learned that money and change would be much easier to come by through other means, thus he became a bounty hunter, gaining quite a reputation and becoming notorious throughout Mexico. And the name Javier Escuella quickly becomes something to genuinely fear and respect, and his, I guess, job as a bounty hunter leads him to America in order to eliminate specific targets and the prospect of higher paid bounties than he'd ever receive in Mexico. This life as a bounty hunter eventually leads Javier into the path of Dutch van der Linde, a notorious and charismatic gang leader with an idealism and perspective that pretty much compels Javier to join the gang and their cause. Number 2, he forms a strong connection to Dutch and his idealism. So Javier, over the years riding alongside Dutch, John Marston, Arthur Morgan, and the rest of this band of misfits, develops a major connection to Dutch's idealism and perspective. Javier is one of, if not the most devoted and bonded to Dutch's vision of a savage utopia. Thus, he strongly opposes government control, supports individual liberty, and alongside Dutch van der Linde, aims to punish general human cruelty and becomes a champion of the people. So he too sees himself as a symbol that fights for the dying Wild West. Thus, Javier becomes an established member of Dutch's gang, committing over 40 bank robberies and helping the gang in their fight for freedom against the federal government who threaten their way of life. Yet after a failed robbery in Blackwater, things start to spiral out of control for Javier and the gang that he now calls family. As the government and lawmen want Dutch's gang dead or alive, thus bounty hunters from far and wide aim to pursue them across America in a bid to cement the government's control over the region. Number 3, he is a charismatic jack of all trades, also very committed, passionate, and loyal. Now, unlike Bill Williamson, who is an enforcer, Abigail Roberts being an entertainer, Mika Bell being a sharpshooter, and Jose Matthews being a thinker/con artist, Javier can't really be placed into a specific category. He's very much a jack of all those trades and capable of filling any role within Dutch's gang, mostly due to his unique personality and set of skills that he's developed throughout his younger years in Mexico. His childhood and history as a notorious hitman makes him very capable and dangerous in a shootout, furthermore extremely reliable when it comes to enforcement roles. Now, in terms of entertainment, it's said that Javier is an excellent musician and often plays his guitar and banjo at camp to lift the gang's spirits. He also attempts to serenade women at camp and in towns, and they are said to be a small yet very effective weakness of his. Javier is also extremely charismatic. He's able to con his way out of dangerous situations. He even tries this in his later years on John Marston during Red Dead Redemption 1. As John hunts him down for the federal government, he has the quote, "Come on, you're not going to shoot your own brother, are you? We was family," end quote. And it actually almost works on Marston, yet he suddenly pushes a crate into John and attempts to run for his life. And even though it didn't work out on that specific occasion, because John Marston has history and knows him all too well, do expect to see Escuella charismatically talking his way out of trouble, especially if the circumstances are against him and his life is under threat. Number 4, he has a strong friendship with John Marston. So Javier's strong friendship with John is widely apparent during Red Dead Redemption 1, in which John and Javier have a conversation at gunpoint. Instead of attempting to draw his weapon, Javier tries escaping instead. And in that game, John is also given the choice to capture Javier or kill him. If you do so, John wipes away a single tear before spitting on his corpse, to kind of represent "I love you but hate what you made me do" and how the gang actually treated me throughout throughout my younger years. And Javier is also said to have a small bond with Abigail Roberts, to the point in which they may even have sexual relations. Now this goes for the majority of male members within Dutch's gang. Obviously they've slept and used Abigail Roberts' services, one way of putting it, hiring her as a prostitute. Yet during Red Dead Redemption 1 on multiple occasions, Javier brings up Abigail with John in order to get under his skin and make him emotional with the quote, "Did Abigail miss me?" And he has another, "Come on amigo, Abigail wouldn't want this." This may lean towards a supportive friendship or possible sexual relations with Abigail Roberts. It depends how much you want to read into it. And despite the majority of the gang holding some disdain towards John, do expect to see Javier by his side for a good portion of Red Dead Redemption 2, because he does view John as a brother until a specific event changes their relationship and how Javier views John forever. Number 5, he leaves John Marston for dead. Now as Dutch van der Linde becomes noticeably more mad, the gang begin to fall into desperation and conflicts within the gang start to rapidly arise. Dutch's plans for heists and robberies go from being quite genius to becoming predictable, leading to some unsuccessful bank robberies and a loss of trust within the gang. Meanwhile, Bill and Dutch have grown to dislike John Marston throughout the years. Youthful, brash, and he's viewed as a fuck up, and this leads to the gang abandoning John during a botched robbery in 1906. In Red Dead Redemption 1 we get the line from Bill that would suggest that John's capture / death was purposely planned. Bill even states, quote, "Dutch, Javier and I wanted you dead. We all did." So despite Javier and Marston's brotherhood, Javier still makes the hard decision to leave John behind. And although this is a character defining moment for John Marston, it's also a defining moment for Escuella, leaving someone he loved and viewed as a brother behind. Yet during the showdown with Marston during Red Dead Redemption 1, Javier states, quote, "You got it all wrong, brother. I've always loved you, even now." Yet it's difficult to know how much of a role Javier plays during this moment and if he's simply telling John what he wishes to hear in order to survive. So similar to Dutch, Javier's character takes a sad and dark turn. Number 6, he is left depressed by Dutch's fall into madness. So as we're all aware, Dutch van der Linde experiences a major fall from grace during Red Dead Redemption 2's story, from a charismatic leader with strong and just ideals to a murderer whose idealism turns into extreme anger for the world, and Dutch gradually descends into madness. This negatively affects Dutch's most devoted follower, Javier, the most, and it has been said that he becomes somewhat depressed to see Dutch, a once great man that he still respects and loves, fall so far from grace. As the gang start falling apart through Dutch's actions and the seemingly never-ending pursuits from lawmen and bounty hunters combined with major conflicts within Dutch's gang, it causes them to disband and officially become no more. Escuella flees back to Mexico and basically becomes a washed-up hitman who works for Allende, leader of the Mexican army and the governor of the state. And the sad thing about this partnership, Javier's role is now to help suppress a Mexican revolution. So Javier practically starts living a life that contradicts his early days and his old life in general. So we'll see him go from a youthful rogue fighting for freedom to a hitman working for the government to suppress freedom. A classic fall from grace. Alright, now time for the outro. So yeah, that is the end of the video, guys. Uncle is up next, and for some future character videos, I'll be combining 2 or 3 characters into one video because we simply don't have enough information to make one fleshed out video on specific characters. So more content on the way. Also, there was some more information on Javier Escuella out there, but it would be deemed a spoiler in my own eyes, so I didn't want to share it. So yeah, more RDR2 content on the way, lads. And as always, guys, I have a question. Who is your favorite member of Dutch's gang? Apart from returning characters and Arthur Morgan, because that shit would be far too easy for you guys. So let me know in the comments so I can see who made it this far. Stay tuned for more content like this here on AAA Digest. Catch you in the next one, guys. The hype train keeps going. Bye-bye.
Everything's absolutely splendid.
Walking down the street and you hear that heavy beat, can't help but walk your feet.